how are you?
I'm really well, thank you.
Good, thank you for coming back. Block 7.
I know, it's exciting, isn't it?
Good morning to you.
Morning.
Well done, getting up bright and early. Traffic was bad, wasn't it?
Thought it wasn't going to be.
Coffee in hand, we're all good.
We're good to go.
Now I know a lot of you were queued up. That's what I was told.
Ooh.
There was a queue on, I don't know, Facebook,
How exciting.
YouTube, whatever. I don't know how they know.
I don't know how they
Technical
work.
people do technical things and they tell me these things and I go, oh. So good morning to you. This is a fabulous, fabulous day. We are block 7, which is, oh, let me show you. Hang on, let me do the tech. Here we go. This is block 7. Jane, what is this today?
This is the 8-pointed star.
Right. Okay.
It uses
that way.
a 60-degree triangle.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to look at using templates today because so
Okay.
far we've been using our ruler and rotary cutter.
We have. You're quite right.
And you can use your rotary cutter to do 60-degree triangles, but I think it's a good technique to learn to use templates.
Yes. Well, and that's what this is about, isn't
Yes.
it? Building
We're
confidence, building skills. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
This is what this quilt, this block of the month is all about, building your skill levels. There's always different ways of doing things, and I just want to show you the way to use a template just so that it's a skill that you're now familiar with and you will get to know how to do it. It's, it's tracing, basically.
Tracing? Oh, I can do that.
Yes.
Now Elaine's watching, Christine's watching, Jeanette's watching. We've also, who else have we got? Oh, April in Australia.
Oh, how
Australia,
exciting.
April.
Oh my God.
Happy Monday, says Michael.
Yeah.
And there are lots of people watching.
How exciting.
Yeah, no, that's lovely.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put my phone in there so that I can keep her going with all of the messages.
Got any questions we can
Yes.
hopefully answer as we go. So
In your kit,
in your kit
you
you're
are
gonna have
getting.
your instructions,
Yes.
beautifully made by Natasha, and your template sheet to trace off. So you've got 3 templates here. You've got your main template. This is the unit that we're making. So if I hold that up, we can see them together.
Whee!
Turn it that way, you might be able to see it better that way. So we've got the main triangle, which is in the background fabric.
Hang on, let's go closer. There you go.
There we go, move it down, that's it. We've got the main fabric, which is the background, and then 2 smaller triangles from the
Hang on, we've got that's scarlet, and the crimson is the middle bit.
the centre square.
Yeah.
It's a very subtle colour difference.
Yes.
You can't really see it, but it gives a sort of shade. You can change this colour in the middle. We can talk about that later, but it's just 1 square in the middle. So this is what we're going to do today.
Nice.
So
Oh, Jeanette's got it in her diary so she doesn't miss it.
that's clever.
Yeah. Oh, hang on, Nicola's organised. She's already ordered hers.
Very good, very good.
Very organised.
Right.
You will get template plastic in your kit. So we're adding that in for you as well. So if you've never worked with template plastic, that is what we're adding in. So you don't actually have to cut into this piece of paper. You will get your template plastic as well. So it's a little upgrade in your kit.
I've just got a little scrappy piece here just to demonstrate with, but I've already cut my templates out. So I've got template A, and I've got template B and template C. Now, the more astute of you may notice that B and C are actually the same.
Yes.
But just to avoid confusion at this stage, for beginners, make the 2 templates and mark them B and C.
What just me?
You can flip them over.
Okay.
And I will go through that. But if you're absolutely brand new to working with templates and, getting your reverse and turning it over and things like that, make both templates.
Let's not risk anything.
Let's just do it, from the basics. So you're going to start, the first thing you need to do before you do anything else, prep your fabric, starch, press the fabric, is you're going to need to trace your template.
Well, let me show you the template. So this is that way. There you go. So you've got A, B and C. Now you've got 2 lines, haven't you? Why have you got 2 outlines?
The bolder line in the middle, this line here, that's your actual seam line.
Right.
The line that you have on the outside is your cutting line. That's your 1/4 inch seam allowance, basically. That bit in between there and there is your seam allowance.
Yeah.
Okay. We add the seam allowance on with templates so that you don't have to worry about it.
Because we're beginner friendly.
Because we try to be. And generally speaking, when you have a pattern that has templates in, it usually, more often than not, has the seam allowance added to it.
Okay.
Now you could, if you wanted to, you could just cut these templates out as they are, because this is lovely firm card, and use them like this. They won't last very long. They'd last long enough for your block.
We had a conversation about this, didn't we?
Yes.
We had a choice, because I know a lot of you are then making up extra quilts, maybe cushions, you know, and we could have gone cheap and we could have just done that.
Yeah.
Or I think it works out at being an extra £1.50 or something on there to add in your template plastic, and then you've got templates to keep.
That's it.
And they're yours.
And the thing is, you'll be able to write on here what size they are. They're actually 4.5 inches because we're making 4.5 inch squares. We'll go into that in a little bit. But you can mark on there that it's a 4.5 inch 60-degree triangle unit. The thing is, you'll have that forever then, and you can make more blocks. You can use it in other things. And a little secret, little tip, little hint is that we will be doing this again next month in a similar way. So
Keep them.
Keep them for next month's block.
Another reason why we needed to have the template plastic. Right.
So you could just cut them out and use them as they are. They won't last long. They'll be enough for your block. You could put them onto cardboard. You could paste it onto cardboard and cut them out, and then they'll last a little bit longer again. The reason I do it onto template plastic is because template plastic is clear. And we've got...
Where would you like to... Yeah, there we go. Hang on. Yes.
We show there. If I bring it up a little bit, put it onto the white. You can see that it's see-through.
Yeah.
So we're using plain fabrics today, but if I were to use a patterned fabric, I can fussy cut.
Yes, perfect.
I can see where the pattern is through.
Yes.
So I can, particularly with the larger triangle that's in the middle, I could position that so it goes over a design, so it's centralised.
Yes.
So the template plastic is really versatile, is what I'm trying to say.
It needs to be in there, doesn't it? And that's why we've tried out various forms, haven't we? They're all sat on my kitchen table. Should we try this one? Should we try this one?
Yeah.
And you'll get the one that we see fit.
Yes. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll
Absolutely. Geraldine's home from Mexico. She's watching this morning.
It's lovely. Did you have a nice time, Geraldine?
Did you hear about that plane that made it from America in 4.5 hours? Was that you?
Thanks to the strong winds yesterday, pushing it along.
Gosh.
I wouldn't have wanted to be on that flight.
I did think about you this morning when I heard that, and I thought, no. Who else have we got? Well, lots of people watching, lots of messages, but they're all coming through. Sharon says, morning ladies, good to see you and hear you. Who else have we got? Love the templates, yes. Joe says, morning ladies, lovely to see you both, especially with my favourite guest, Jane.
Oh, that's very nice, thank you.
Joanna Carter is watching. I think she's just checking that Mortimer is behaving
still
himself.
Hanging around.
Still hanging about. She's busy designing something Eastery for us.
Oh, how exciting.
Aren't you? Yes, right, come on. Sorry,
Template
we digress.
plastic.
Yes.
We're not sure what we're sending, are we? But we're hoping it's going to be like this.
You know, it'll be like, yeah.
So it's got a smooth, shiny side. You'll have to forgive this. This is a scrappy piece of mine. And a dull, rough side.
Right.
Draw on the dull, rough side. Just because it's slightly more permanent, it's not going to rub out and things like that. So to trace your template over, fix your paper piece down onto your work surface with a bit of tape.
Oh, do you want some tape?
Just to hold it down.
I can go and find you some tape.
No,
Do you want
it's
some
fine.
tape? Are you
We
sure?
can do it. That'll just stop it slipping underneath and give you more control when you're tracing it through. And it is literally tracing it off. So you're going to place your template plastic over the top. Now, a little cheaty tip, if you like. When you get your template plastic, it's going to have nice straight edges.
Yes.
So line your edges up.
Make life easy.
Make it easier for yourself. Line your edges up with the edge of your tracing part here. So you've got that angle there. It's a 45-degree angle. So just line it up with the edge of your sheet of template plastic. It's going to make life easier for you. I'm just using an ordinary pencil, HB pencil, a nice sharp clear point.
Get your pencil sharpeners out, ladies.
Yeah. You want to get a finest line you possibly can, because obviously, or maybe not obviously, but the more you draw lines on things, the more you'll increase like this. But when you're drawing your line to draw across your template, line your ruler up with the line that you're going to draw and put your pencil at an angle to that ruler.
See, I never thought of this. So actually, you know, it says it sounds.
It's not going to be too imperative on this one because we're actually going into the seam allowance. But if you put your pencil against the edge of the ruler like that, you're not going to be against the edge of the ruler, is what I'm trying to say. You're going to have a distance, and it's only a mere millimetre of distance. But over, as we said again several times, the more discrepancy you have in a quilt, over time is going to
it builds.
Big discrepancy.
Yeah, absolutely.
From what goes to be less than 1/8 of an inch, by the time your quilt's made, can be up to half an inch.
And then you've got trimming back and stuff to do.
So what I'm just trying to say, I think, really at this point is take your time, be accurate. So angle your pencil in towards the edge of your ruler, and then that will draw your line exactly on the line that you're going to trace. Now you may be looking at these templates and you might think, but the outside edge is not pointy. It's got edges, you know. We've beveled the edges in. That's your seam allowance, and that helps you line the pieces up. When we come to join the pieces together,
Let me just show
the seam
that
allowance
on this one.
will line up. Can you see it? Sort of like
There.
nub the edge off there. And it's just the seam allowance. So we've taken off the point, and it does help when we're joining the pieces together to line the seams up. Because we're not working with what we've traditionally worked with so far of 45 degrees and 90-degree angles, it can sort of put you sort of a little bit off because you can't actually line it up square.
Yes.
It has to go at an angle, and you have to offset seams. So it's just, I'm not trying to scare you, but we're moving on with this block. We're developing our skill
This
level.
opens up a whole world, doesn't it, of quiltability.
Yeah,
I'm making that a word.
It's a good word,
Yeah.
quiltability.
Yeah.
So I've traced around my outside edge, and
Yep.
I've used the edge of the template plastic to cheat slightly, if you want to use that word. Economical with my time. And then I'm going to trace the inside edge as well. Now, if you wanted to, you could EPP this pattern, in which case you wouldn't need the seam allowance. You would draw, you would make your paper templates.
Yeah.
English paper piecing, for people that don't know what I'm talking about when I say EPP. English paper piecing is fabric where we put the fabric over the paper, tack it to the paper, and then we sew it together by hand.
We're going to bring you English paper piecing soon.
Yes.
I hope.
So we've drawn around that template. So you can see we've got the line there, that's the actual piece of piecing, and then our seam allowance line. And you would cut template plastic out with ordinary scissors, paper scissors, not your best fabric scissors. Don't use your best fabric scissors.
There you go. And as if by magic,
there we go. And it's
out they
just
come.
Literally, and again, try and stay as close or as on that line as you can. If you have a paper crafting knife and a ruler, do the same again. Place the ruler on top of the line and use your paper crafting knife. You're going to get a more accurate template. So, yeah, don't use your best fabric scissors. Paper scissors work just fine. It's easy to cut with paper scissors.
There you go. Do you want to show? Oh, we'll just see. There we go. Ta-da!
So that's your template.
Easy. Done.
Now, mark your template up. So this is template C. Just because it's very easy to get them muddled up.
To flip them and do whatever. Yeah.
And get the wrong one. So that's your making your templates. not terribly difficult. Just take your time and try and be as accurate as you can.
The biggest tip for me is the pencil angle.
Yes.
It makes a difference, even if it's just a few mils.
Yes,
it does
can.
make a
It can
difference.
quite a big
Yeah.
difference. Okay. So, first things to do, prepare your fabric, starch it if you're going to starch it. I recommend that you do because we are working with bias edges again. This is the unit we're going to make.
Hooray! Oh,
Hold it there.
yeah, why not?
Get
Ta-da!
So
Getting very good, aren't you?
it's a star, 60-degree triangle with two smaller triangles with the 60-degree long edge. Okay, equilateral I think it is, and I don't know. I'm not very good on my geometry.
That's an isosceles.
Isosceles
And a right angle triangle. Two right angle triangles flanking an isosceles. There you go.
From your marking, you've made your templates.
Yep.
So now you're going to put them onto your fabric and mark it onto your fabric. You are going to need, for your block, you are going to need 4 of triangle A.
Right.
And we're going to mark, and again, you know, be as economical as you can, but keep the straighter grain. So either have the point going downwards or acrossways. Don't start doing this because you're going to give yourself even more biased edges and cause all sorts of things.
Right.
So again, you know, take it up. If you've got a lovely straight cut edge and it sits nicely on the seam, take it up to the edge of the seam. I haven't, because this is a piece of fabric that I just cut out of a great big piece.
I mean, on the instructions it says to cut a strip of 4.5 inch.
And then you can,
and then you can
work your way
yeah,
down it like that.
because the one thing that I would say about the template plastic is it's not necessarily thick enough to use as a ruler. So it's just it's a
put
guide
your rotary cutter on it
for drawing around. But don't you? Yeah, no,
don't cut against it.
I know some people do, but that gives me the heebie-jeebies. So please don't.
It's a bit like watching them cut round a pattern on the sewing bee with their rotary cutters. You're like,
Collective gasp.
Yes. So again, when you're drawing round your template, angle your marker in towards the template plastic. So you're going to get as close to the edge as you can. And you're literally following the template, just tracing round the edge.
Okay.
There we go. You can see now that I haven't got the seam allowance, but I know that it's on there.
It's 1/4 of an inch.
It's 1/4 of an inch.
So if you wanted to, presumably you could get your ruler and you could, if you wanted to, mark in a 1/4 of an inch, should you wish.
If you were hand piecing, like hand sewing rather than English paper piecing, you would want to mark your 1/4 of an inch seam in. I'm just going to put that slightly on the outside. Now, I don't know if we probably can't get this in, but what I've done, because this pen is not very thick, but it's slightly thick, I have put the 1/4 inch mark on the outside edge of that line. Right. Not on the line or not inside the line. I've gone onto the outside edge.
So it just allows for
that, because if I'm going to mark another line here for my seam allowance, again, it's a thicker line. And if I put that on there now, you can see that's quite an accurate 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah.
Just by taking that to the outside edge of where I've marked. I hope I'm not talking gobbledygook to people here. I hope I'm trying to make sense.
Makes perfect sense.
That's good. So if you were going to hand sew that, you would want to mark your seam allowance. I don't think most of us, well, maybe you would, because some of us don't have the facility to move our needle across and get an accurate 1/4 inch seam.
It's like having stabilisers on your bike, isn't it? When you're ready, you take them off. If you want a line to follow to sew them, mark it on. If you don't, you go, I'm fine with a 1/4 of an inch. I could probably eyeball it too. Ooh.
So you can take your fabric scissors and just cut round the line.
Yeah, you can.
If you're comfortable with doing that. If you're not, put your rotary cutter on, line the edge of your rotary cutter up with your marked line and follow the line.
Excellent.
And you'll do the same on the other side.
Do you then use scissors to snip those funny edges?
I would. I would then take a smaller pair of hand scissors and just snip those little edges off.
Now, whilst you do that, Sarah Jane says that she's got horizontal torrential downpours.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Lisanne is cold in Scotland. The snow has started. Oh gosh.
Perfect sewing day to sound
absolutely.
like for me.
And Oriel is watching on the bus.
As you do.
As you do.
Is anybody else watching with you?
Oh, I don't know.
Looking over your shoulder while you're
watching.
watching.
I don't know. Annette says morning. Sabina says morning, ladies. A better day today. No wind in Newcastle under Lyme. Loving the show. Oh yeah, yeah. Lots of things. Keep your weather to yourself, basically. To anyone that's not got nice weather.
Yeah.
And Cheryl's watching on her laptop, but using her phone as the sound's louder.
Oh.
Well, there you go.
Well, there we are.
Maria's got her coffee in hand. Such a good demonstration, she says. We've had coffee. We're all coffeeed up, aren't we?
Yeah, we're ready to go.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So you're going to cut, as I say, you'll cut 4 of the large triangle from the background colour.
Right.
The ivory.
Yes, let's have a look.
And then we're going to cut 8. 4 of B and 4 of C of our triangles.
Okay.
They are going to go against your fabric, your A triangle, like so. Now it's very easy when you're making a triangle like this is to think that you're lining up edges like this. And you end up doing this. It's very easy to do that.
Yes. Have you done that before?
I've done that several times. So just make sure that you have got them the right way round. Now we've got these pieces, the corners cut off, the points cut off, and when we place them right sides together, it doesn't look like it does, but it does more down here. They line up with the edges. And you can see,
there we go.
You can see that there. They do line up. It gives you an idea. And down here. Now if you had points, you'd be offsetting your points on your triangles just because of your seam allowance, because when we seam that over and turn it back again, we want it to line up and make a 45-degree angle there, because it's half of the square that's to be.
Yeah.
So we'll line that up. We can pin it if you want to. You know me, I'm quite lazy, I don't bother, and it's only a small piece. Mm-hmm. And we'll seam that just from the top to the bottom.
Do you know what? I'm going to change that ever so slightly. There you go.
There we go. So we've got a seam.
Oh.
You can see it on there.
Oh,
sorry. Oh, I'm going too fast for the camera. Sorry.
No, it's all right. I moved it.
There we go. You can see now that I've got that seam down that edge, top to bottom. And we're going to press that now and press it up and away.
Fab. Okay. Now, something for your delight this morning. This is brand new. Let me just explain what this is. So this is from House of Alistair.
It's got its label on.
Yeah, it's got its little label on. They are being made as we speak. So this is one of only a handful in existence. Yeah. And it's Alistair's take on a pressing mat. So this is 100% wool. I've got all the details here. It's 100% wool. Now normally you expect wool pressing mats to be really, really thick. Well, and you worried about this, didn't you?
Natasha said, I've got a new pressing mat for you. And I went, it's a bit thin. I was like...
It's 100% wool.
Yeah.
This is what the tailors on Savile Row use. But Alistair's bound it and made it all beautiful.
Yeah.
There are pressing mats like this on Savile Row that are older than the 80-year-old tailors on Savile Row, because they get passed down from master tailor to student. And so you buy one and it's, that's it. That's
forever.
it for life. So they are incredible. And yes, I have got it on my mat before everybody gasps, and we have been pressing.
We've used
And
it.
I have grilled Alistair on this, and I'm like, are you sure it's okay? Because I've got a very expensive cutting mat that I've just treated myself to, and I don't want to wreck it. And he said, honestly, this is always what he uses. This is the setup that he always uses. And it's easy to roll, so if you want to take it to a workshop or something like that, or if you just want to have it doubled over and you want to use it like that, then you can. If you are working with fabrics that are a little bit slippery, then the texture of the wool will hold it.
Prevent it slipping.
Yeah. What this is, the fabric that this is, you know the military dress outfits?
Yes, yeah.
If you were to flip their collars up, that is the fabric that they have around there.
It feels like a really good quality felt, doesn't it? That's what it feels like.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So it's just going to give you flatter seams.
Yeah, a wool pressing mat does. I don't know how it does it, but it somehow the seams go flatter.
This is flame resistant and can withstand the heat of your iron as well. Obviously, don't leave your iron on there. You know,
no,
you wouldn't. But for pressing, absolutely great. There you go.
Let's do it.
Yay! And I have to say, thrilled to bits with it. Absolutely thrilled to bits. Look how flat that is.
That's a beautiful flat seam.
Isn't it?
And if I put my hand underneath here, I'm going to expect the mat to be warm, and it's not.
It's not, is it?
It's not warm at all.
No.
It's amazing. Because when Natasha showed it to me, I was like, yeah, okay. I'm to be convinced.
Yeah.
And I was expecting us to lift the mat to be all woohoo underneath, but it isn't. And it's not. And it's got a little dampness, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that's just because it's a new...
It's the first time it's been used.
But that's wipeable.
But if you, I mean, I don't know if you can compare. Hang on, let me just see if I can get this for you.
You'll definitely see the difference.
So that is the one that we've just done on the pressing mat. And that is one. Can you see how much flatter this one is?
Yeah.
That's the thing, isn't it? That's what you're looking at.
It gives you a lovely flat seam, which you might wonder why you would need such a flat seam. Well, actually, at this point, it doesn't really matter. But when you come to quilting it, you're going to get a much easier quilting experience because you're going to have a flatter seam to quilt over.
But it's also that...
it's got a lovely finish.
Yeah, it's also the accuracy as well, because, you know, sometimes we sew with a scant 1/4 of an inch because we're worried about, you know, just how much fabric is lost in folding over.
There we go.
Perfect.
It's lovely.
Love it.
So now we're going to put our other triangle on the other side, and again, making sure, just keep checking that you are keeping it to a square shape.
Yeah.
It's very easy to flip it over because you think, because we spent so much time lining up square edges.
Yeah, it would be easy to do it like that.
You're going to end up with a very strange shape. So again, we're lining that up with the edge. We've got those little pieces that we've cut up which help it to line up better. And this will give you your overlap at the top, but with a little bit less bulk in it.
Let me just get you the right. Why am I not getting the camera?
Oh, what am I doing here?
I don't know.
That's
I'm not doing it right either. There we go. There you go.
There we are.
Now, apparently you're very quiet and I'm very loud.
Oh dear.
So I think it's because we've got the mics round the wrong way.
I'll try and speak up. I have had a bit of a cold this week and my throat has been so sore that I do know that my voice is quite low anyway. So I do apologise if you can't hear me. So there we go. Shall I take it back? Yep, we've got the seam there and we're going to press that up and away.
Oh yes, I can do that. Check me out with my new pressing skills. Oh, that's a beautiful thing. I am so happy about that.
It's
Look at
lovely.
it. And also because it grips onto the mat, it kind of holds it in place.
Yes.
No.
You've got less chance of stretching your biased edge.
Yeah, it's perfect. I'm really impressed with this. I did say to Alistair that you would be giving this a good test.
Good testing.
Well, yeah, but it needs to be,
It's
doesn't
true.
it?
It is
There's
true.
no point in me bringing something brand new to air and then if it hasn't been tested thoroughly.
This
Now, Alistair has used these for years and years and years, and he's had one of these for over 20 years. So, you know,
Yeah, he's confident.
He's
in what
absolutely
doing.
confident.
Yeah.
Some will know, don't they?
They do.
They know.
They know what they're
their
talking
stuff.
about.
Of course
They
they
do. They do. So we're going to make 4 of these units.
Mm-hmm.
They're the points of our star. We can
Let's
see
bring
that.
that in.
I'll bring that down here.
Shall
So
I move
these
that
units-
over? There you go.
These units go in here. So we've gone back to our basic 9 patch. We've got our centre square, 4.5 inch square, and then we've got 4 corner squares of the background fabric, again 4.5. So this unit here, 4.5-ish square,
Mm-hmm.
centre square, 1 of the darker red. Those units there, and then we've got our corner squares, which will go in like that. We've just got half the unit here because I've already done one. So we're now going to join it together like we would
In your rows.
in the rows. So we're going to join that one to that one and that one to that one, and then the same with these ones. So it is literally a case of lining up your square with the edges here, 1/4 inch seam down those edges.
Fabulous. Is that it? Done.
That's that one done. We can line, we'll press that in a moment. We
Do you
can
want me to
line,
press it? No, I can press. Oh no, you're going to do both
do
first.
both and then we'll press.
Okay.
Again, line that one up with that edge.
And off we go. Oh, it's breezy in Suffolk. Oh, Jenny Jackson's watching. Morning, lovely.
Hi Jenny.
Helen says, great to see you again, Jane. I can't believe that a month has gone by already.
I know, it's gone so quickly.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
How did that happen? Because you were our launch show,
We were.
which means that
And look
Natasha
how many
makes
people you've had a month old.
is a month old.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So I'm going to press the seams towards the square, which, you know, normally we say don't we press to the dark side.
Yes.
But I think you're going to get a nicer finish and it will sit better. Even with the wonderful wool pressing mat, it will still sit better if you press towards the square.
Okay.
So we've got that one going that way. So centre square, you're making sure that you've got the longer edge of the short triangle against your squares. I think that's the rule to think about each time. Because we're making a star with the points, we want the long edges of the triangle, the short triangle,
Yeah.
or the half triangle if you like, to be against the edge of our square.
Okay.
It's very easy, and you're only going to make a different block if you turn it and do it that way. You'll get a different effect.
Maybe that's something to try if you're going to make up a...
Have a look, just
Yeah.
have a play.
Yeah.
Now what we've got here, when we come to do this side, and if I bring it up to, can I take it up to the machine to do a close-up?
Oh, yes, please do.
I've talked about this before. When you've got a seam going here, you've got like an X marks the spot point here. So when you're sewing this unit to the square, sew it on this side and you can see the point there, and you want your seam line to be just slightly underneath that point. So keep that unit on the top of your patch.
Now, Jenny Jackson
Yeah.
says she's never heard the term eyeballing before.
Oh,
We use that term, don't we? We eyeball 1/4 of an inch.
I do it a lot. I do it a
Yeah.
lot. That's just sort of like guesstimating, I suppose, is another
Yeah,
word for it.
Yeah.
I don't know if we
you
can-
kind of see it.
Can we get?
Oh,
up to the-
yeah, I can do that. Whoop, there you go.
I don't know if you can see it. It's puckered it a little bit because it's caught the thread. But it's just underneath that point. And what that means is that when we come to press that, and we're going to press it on the side of the square again this time.
Oh, hang on. Oh, helps fun. There you go.
You're not going to lose the point. Go up again. Sorry, I'm making you work today.
No.
Just go close up again,
There
and we
go.
can just show that up against there. If you can see, let me lower it down a little bit. We haven't lost the point because it's very easy to lose the point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll lose the plot as well as the point. Jane, we've had a question.
Yes.
How many blocks will there be altogether?
There are, now then, this is where we get a little, there are 10 blocks altogether,
Right.
but there's actually, visually, there's 9 blocks in the quilt. We've got the main picture, right? Dib out of the...
Yeah, no, do it. Because Lorraine wants to know about backing fabric for
yes.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about backing, aren't we?
We are going to talk about backing.
Right, this is the overall effect of the quilt. This is what I'm going for. You can put your blocks in any order you want to put them in. It's
So
completely up to you.
Last time we did that one, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then, oh, hang on. Let me just do this way. There we go.
That's it. So we last month we did this one, which
Yeah.
was actually block 6.
Yeah.
Because we did start this with sewing quarter. Now you can see there's 9 blocks there, but we actually started when we were starting out on this beginner's journey of making a quilt. We did this block here, which is the basic 9 patch.
Right.
So that is a 6-inch block. So these squares here are 2 inches.
Yeah. Finished 2 inch.
Finished at 2 inches. So we've done this part of the sashing already in theory.
If you've kept up with
If
your
you've
homework.
kept up with it, you should have 16 of these little 9 patches put away, ready to go. And we'll talk about the sashing. So when we get to month 10, which I can't remember, it's going to be one of these two, which is the most complicated.
They're beautiful.
They're not complicated, but they've got the most units in them.
Yeah.
Blocks. I'm not sure which one is the final one. After that, we're going to talk about sashing, joining the quilt together, making it together, and then we'll talk about the quilting and the binding. So we've got, I think we've got 3 more blocks to make after this one, and then 2 more shows after that.
Yes.
One talking about joining the quilt together and how we can do that. We can either do it quilt as you go or one go. Yeah. Press the.
Well, you know, getting it to look nice too.
It's been in and out of my bag several times.
So we've got a few more. Oh, hello. What are you doing now?
So I'm going to put the other side on now.
Okay.
So line that up with that edge, and I'm going to sew it with this side facing upwards so I can see that little X marks the spot, if you like.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that I'm inside the seam. It should be 1/4 inch, but we all know what we're like. We're all a little bit
gung-ho with our 1/4 inches.
So
Oh, hubby's watching. Morning, working hard. That's what we're like. Are you going to show that or not?
shall I show it?
Yeah, go
There
on.
we go. So you can see again, we're just inside of that point there where the X marks the spot. That's slightly easier to see, I think, on that one. And we're going to press it. And as I say, when we want the seam to go underneath the fabric, we press with the fabric we want it to go underneath on the top.
Okay.
Because it makes life easier.
There you go. Jane, question.
Yes. Hello.
And this is from Maddie
Hello,
Green,
Maddie.
who would like to know what thread you would recommend for quilting.
Now, I'm going to say something controversial here
Steady.
Do you mean quilting or do you mean you're piecing?
Oh.
When we talk about quilting, when we say we're making quilts, we're making quilts. But actually at the moment I'm making patchwork.
There is a big difference,
And there is a difference. And I don't want to cause controversy, and I'm not saying this is... We're not setting this in stone. There's no black or white. We're not quilt police. At the end of the day, you do what suits you. But when I'm piecing, I use a 60 metler thread, 60 count metler thread.
Right.
Just because it's a finer thread.
Okay.
And again, it's all about your seam, isn't it? And it sets a flatter seam, less bulk for the fabric to go over, so it's slightly more accurate. 50 count or a fill is the same.
Okay.
Now you can quilt with that. Now when I'm talking about quilting, I'm talking about sewing through the 3 layers of your quilt, your backing, your wadding and your patchwork. That's what I think of as quilting. So you can use that thread for quilting. It doesn't matter. It will be beautiful, whatever thread you use. But when I'm quilting, I use a slightly thicker thread. So I would use a 50 count Metler thread or a 40 count Orifil thread. It's just going up. The lower the number on thread, the thicker the
it
thread.
is. It's confusing, isn't it?
So
At
I
the
do
moment-
machine quilting. If you're doing hand quilting, you could use an even thicker thread if you wanted to.
Absolutely. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
At the moment, we have got 50 Orifil, 50 count
Yeah.
Orifil.
Which is beautiful for piecing and for quilting.
Yeah, so you can do that, and there is 10% off when you buy 3.
I got mine.
Which is, and they are, hang on, let me show you the size of the
They're
spools.
big reels, aren't they? They're
They
lovely.
are. Here we go. So this is they're 100% cotton,
Yes.
and that's the thing about them, isn't it? So I think it's 1,300 meters on these big ones, and 1,300 meters. So when you think they're £8.90, I think each. That's 1,300 metres. We used to sell Gutermann, didn't we, which was £1.80 or £1.90
Yes.
for 100 metres,
Yeah.
which works out a lot more expensive than 100% cotton Orifil thread, which is Italian. It's beautiful, beautiful. And if
Really
you're
good
working with
quality thread.
cotton on cotton is lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful thread. But don't
Don't about
get
it.
hung up
Yeah.
about what thread you use. It's personal preference. It's what works for you. If you've only got 40 count Gutermann polyester thread, then use it, because
And
when you're
also go
doing your
with what-
piecing, it's not going to show.
What works with your budget as well.
Yes.
So I've got on the website as well, I've got Speedway threads, which is Coates Moon thread.
Yeah.
And that was the brand that they put into shops. It's just under a different name. It's Coates Moon thread, basically, called Speedway. And there we've got 20 of those. And that's a Speedway one there. So again, getting a lot on a spool there.
Yeah.
I think it's 1,000 metres on a spool. And those are, let me get this right, 20 spools for $19.99.
Yeah.
Or if you double it and go for 40, I think it's something like $32.99. So that's your most cost-effective thread, but it's horses for courses, isn't it? This is what
And you'll
tailors
get
use.
people saying to you that you should use the same thread for the same fabric. Yes, you should. If you're going to sew with cotton, then use cotton thread. Polyester thread has got nylon in it, hasn't it? It's nylon, and it will wear the fabric differently. But we're talking like a long time down the line.
Yeah.
We're not talking in the next 5 years or something like that. We're talking 60, 100 years time, and it depends on the wear and tear that the product gets as well. I think it's more important for dressmaking that you use the correct thread to the type of fabric
The
you're using.
dressmakers and the bag makers use the Speedway.
Mm-hmm.
The quilters seem to use the Orifil. That seems to be the
I would
divide
say,
that I find.
If you can and you're able to, buy the best quality thread that you can. It's like anything, you know, we've all got budgets to work to, but you buy the best for your budget.
There was a lady on Facebook the other day, I think she'd bought thread for 50p a spool down the market and then wondered why it was snapping.
Yeah.
You do get what you pay for.
Yeah. We've had some people, I've noticed on some of the websites, saying about their Orifil breaking on the machine. It could be that they're not being put on the right way round, because
Which way round should it be?
If we could take an Orifil spool, take that one. You've got your thread, and it comes off in a certain way.
So and also take off that bit.
Take the bottom bit off when you're putting it on your machine. Take that bottom piece off as well, and it comes off like that. So
should we go close up on this?
Yeah.
Let's just bear with me one moment while I just get that sorted for us.
So that's coming off in a anti-clockwise direction.
So kind of over the top.
Yeah, over the top.
Just lower it down a little bit for us. There we go. Perfect.
If you have your instructions and your machine says that your thread needs to go from the top down and around your tension threader, then you're going to put your spool in that way. If it's going horizontally, you're going to put it in that way. If it goes underneath, you're going to tip your thread over and you're going to put it that way. And if it stands up, you want it going that way.
There we go.
So it comes off like that. Look at your instructions and see which way your machine wants your thread to go round.
Okay.
And just think about how it comes off. Because if you're going to put that on, the opposite way to it comes round off the spool,
then it's going
to cause
a
tension, which is going to cause it to snap.
Yeah, true. There we go.
There we go.
And I don't know how many of you knew as well about the bases
coming off.
Yeah, I put on the wrong one. And that's often where you'll find the end of your thread as well.
Yeah, and sometimes if you leave that on, it can catch as it comes off. It can snag on that.
And
as
that
well.
can be another thing, can't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's all good.
It's all good. All little tips and hints.
But this is the place to ask, isn't it? You know, we've got time this morning because we're doing the block.
Yeah. We can answer as many questions as
absolutely
possible. I don't know all the answers. I'm not going to say I do, but you know, if I can answer them, I will. So we've got our rows made. This row is exactly the same as that row up there. So you've got two with your triangle facing inwards and your squares on the side. The bottom row, you're going to turn it round because we want the long edge of the spikes up against the centre square. We've pressed these seams in towards the middle and those seams out towards the outside square so that when we put this one together, we're going to have, I'm going to be able to, and I'm going to go up close on this one, Natasha.
Okay, all right, yeah.
We're going to be able to nestle our seams because I don't know if we can see. That one, that seam there is facing downwards and this seam here is facing up.
Spin it around slightly towards that camera there and then you can...
Yeah. A bit of extra fabric in there. So they nestle together. I turn it slightly, you might see it a bit better.
Perfect.
That way. Yeah?
Yes.
So we want to do that. Now I would, although I don't pin very often.
You do today.
I pin against that seam there just to hold that in place and nestle this one as well.
Now Sheila says, nice mat, not bad for $29.99. Alistair and I had a big conversation about the price. Because it's top quality fabric and it should come at a price, but we chose to make less money on it so that you could get a really good quality mat, because I just think sometimes, I don't know, the wall mats can be really expensive, and also because of the size of it as well, you only need one, whereas you know the square ones,
yes,
you know, you end up buying all sorts of different sizes for them.
Different combinations.
Yeah, whereas this one you can just fold over. So it was really important for me to make it accessible so that everybody can have one, and then you've got it to keep forever and ever and ever. So that was, that's the story behind that. We had a big conversation about what the price point should be, and I wanted it under £30.
Now I've sewn that, and again I've sewn it with the triangle on the top so that I can see that X marks the spot point, so that I can keep my seam within that point there. And we can do our little unpicking the seam.
You want to go close, don't you?
Going close.
Come on then, Jana, if you insist.
There we go. So I'm going to unpick those stitches there up to that seam line.
Which always worries me.
So it's usually one or two, sometimes there aren't even any stitches there. I'm going to unpick it on that side, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to unpick it on this side as well.
Hazel says that the machine is so quiet. It's a good one for nighttime sewing. Yes,
it is.
Yes, it is. We are going to talk about the machine tomorrow. Gary DeBrick is coming in from Dukey, and we're going to talk about the DX7, which is this one, and we're also going to talk about my favourite overlocker, which is the one that it took me 5 years to save up for. So, you know, yeah. And go on.
Yeah, we've unpicked that side, that side there, up to that seam. and on the other side again up to that seam.
Perfect.
So when we come to pressing now, we'll press it flat there just to set the seam, press it up and away because we really want that middle one to go towards the dark fabric.
The dark side.
And then we'll press that one up in the middle and the other ones down. Which is going against everything I just said about pressing away from the triangle. But when it comes to it, I can see that. You can see we've got that one going up and those two going down.
Yes.
And what happens is, when I turn that over, that reduces the bulk in these corners here. Which again, when it comes to quilting your whole quilt, will make life a lot easier for you.
We're after an easy life. Absolutely after an easy life.
So we're going to line these up again.
Hey Jane.
Hello.
Carol's lovely husband has just bought her a mat.
Ooh, lucky lady.
Yeah.
That's going to be your Valentine's gift.
Oh gosh, yeah, we've got all that coming up, haven't we?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Do you bother? Do you bother with Valentine's?
Do you know, part of me thinks that you should show your love every day.
Yes, I think you should.
And part of me thinks it's a great excuse to go out for dinner.
Well, yes.
Not gonna lie.
It is true.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you were born on the 14th of February, in which case I can imagine it's a bit of a nightmare getting a table.
Yeah, you'd have to celebrate
to go
another
out
time.
To celebrate your.
I'm actually working. I'm on Hochanda on the 14th, so I will be bringing lots of love to your televisual screens that way instead.
Yeah.
Mary has a thick wool pressing mat, which she loves. Absolutely, absolutely. The thing with the big thick wool ones, though, is you can't necessarily always take them with you. They're not as easy to take everywhere with you.
I mean, this is going to fold up
this
quite
one folds
small,
up.
isn't it?
Yeah, and also Alistair has had all of the edges bound so that there won't be any wear and tear, and it will always be. He's really thought about it. Oh, there we go, that one.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all right. We'll get there.
Moving
I
too
was
fast.
preempting you and got it completely wrong.
So
There
I'm
you
just
go.
going to unpick those. I should use the unpicker really, but
Well, you know.
pins work.
Oh,
Both sides.
hey, Claire says the UK term is to do it by eye, and the USA term is to eyeball it.
Oh right, yeah. You
Is
can
that
imagine
where it's come from?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jenny says she's just adding it to my list of terms. I've got my own glossary going on. It's fabulous.
So we'll press that now. This is lovely because we've got like a whole work mat pressing space, haven't we?
Well, do you know what? I got fed up of turning around
Yes.
during the shows, and then everybody complained that they lost signal on my mic and all sorts of things. So I was like, right. When Alistair said he was bringing these, I was like, right, I'm putting my order in.
Yeah.
You can't get these anywhere else, by the way. Only here.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Not even with Alistair?
Not even with Alistair. They're not even on his website yet, I don't think.
That's an exclusive
Yeah.
and a half then,
I
isn't
should have maybe mentioned that. Yeah. Possibly.
So there we go. And there's your block.
As easy as that?
It's so straightforward.
Easy as that.
I think sometimes we can get a little bit worried about templates.
There's
You
no
know, we
need.
can think they're a little bit scary.
Yeah.
But they're not.
No.
They're not.
No.
It's tracing at the
Yes.
end of the day. We're just tracing
We
round.
did it at school.
Yeah.
We did it at school, didn't we? Actually, these are going to...
Yeah.
Wouldn't they make a lovely...
They make a beautiful pattern. And what you could do is you could do alternate colours in the corners.
Oh, that would bring in something. I'm thinking
And then
four
that,
for
because
cushion.
you get a 4-patch effect there, wouldn't you? You see?
Yeah.
So that's going to give you another effect.
Oh, decisions. Right. Oh, hang on, another question. When you piece the blocks, does it matter which bit goes on top? How do you avoid the seams cobbling over onto themselves underneath? This always happens to Karen. And I go back and unpick and stitch flat. Am I doing something wrong? So I don't think I've ever seen it happen when Jane stitches. You did say, didn't you, which side to have on top?
I tend to, and this is what Chris Francis, my teacher, told me, was stitch with the most information on the top. So in other words,
that's
where
a
you've
way
got
to remember,
all your
yeah.
seams, if you've got lots of seams, put those on the top. And that way you'll see if if things start to flip over, you'll be able to stop it before it happens, because it does happen sometimes. And it's not, again, you're not going to see what's going on underneath, because when you come to put your quilt in, it's going to have wadding and backing on it. So if the back of your quilt looks a tangled up mess...
Oh, they both look immaculate.
Well, they don't look too bad, do they? But if your back of your quilt looks a tangled up mess... don't worry, because nobody but you knows it's a tangled up mess.
It's like people who worry about what the back of their embroidery looks like.
Yes.
It's like, you know, if people turn it over and comment...
Doesn't Helen McCook say it's rather rude to look at the back of someone's work?
I think it's rather rude too, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like checking for dust under the sofa.
Yeah. Why?
Who does that? Who does that? Okay, so the other thing that we need to talk about, lots of you asking about it, is backing fabric.
Yes.
And the reason we're talking about it today is because at the moment I've got extra wide backing fabric on the website. I've got two different lots. So the 54 to 56 inch, and that's just depending on what machine it's come off. That is all of it is at $9.99 per metre. That should be the half metre price.
That is an amazing price.
It is an amazing price. When you think how wide, so normally your quilting weight fabric is 44 inches selvage to selvage.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're adding another 12 inches, 10 to 12 inches onto that.
Yeah.
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 Now this quilt, as it is, this pattern here, if you were to do it this way, comes out at about 52 inches square. You can add borders on it to make it bigger if you want to, but 52 inches is obviously wider.
Let me do that in centimetres.
Than ordinary, normal quilting cotton.
Yes.
So the extra wide cotton that's 56, 54, 56 is going to be perfect.
That's going to be it, isn't it?
Yeah. And you would only need 1.5 meters.
So actually you're getting all of your backing fabric
for 15 pounds.
I've got it up at, well, so I've got it up,
wouldn't you? Because it's 1.5 meters. Would
yeah,
you have
but
to buy it as
we've
2
got
meters?
we've got it as meter units.
Yeah.
So if you buy 2 meters, it's costing you £20, just under £20, but you've got 80 centimeters left, which is phenomenal.
You can use as background fabric or backing a cushion or making a cushion
bags
with
and stuff out of it.
Whatever, lining fabric.
You could make some of the extra things, couldn't you? Extra blocks, and then make it into a cushion and back it the same. Oh, that would be stunning. No one's ever going to complain about too much fabric.
You can make extra blocks of these in different colourways, different combinations. You know how to construct the blocks so far. You can have a play and turn them around, and you can make your quilt bigger. You know, you can make more of it.
You could. So you could do it the full width. So here's the thing. What colour, Jane, would you go for?
Again,
doesn't matter, does it?
Doesn't matter. It's on the back. You can have a completely different colour if you wanted to. I probably, because I'm sort of safe person, I'd go for a neutrally cream grey beige colour.
Right.
Because I'm like that. But there's nothing. If there's a lovely pattern one, nice bright pattern one, use that. Because then you've got a two quilt, haven't you? You can turn it over.
When I say I've got it for $9.99 per metre, that's all the plains. So if you want to go just for a plain, then do. A lot of you dressmakers have been getting the backing fabrics as well, because it's almost a dressmaking width.
Isn't it? Yeah.
But also I've got Cafe, I've got Brandon Mabley, I've got Tula, I've got all sorts. Now the Tula I think is the extra wide, I think, and there are a handful like the William Morris
ones left.
of the extra wide. Now the extra wide is 108 inches.
Yeah.
So to put that into perspective, these are the extra wide are 130 centimeters. The extra wide.
Is your extra wide? Is that coming in a ½ metre width?
That will come in
so you
half
could
metre
buy
width.
a 1.5 metre width of that, and you'd have plenty.
And that is 270 centimetres wide. That's what 108 inches is. It's phenomenal.
So if you were going to put borders on, if you thought, yes, I want to make this, but I want to make it bigger and I'm going to add borders, go for the extra wide. and get 2 metres.
Yeah.
Because you'll have, you know...
We could get 1.5 metres,
metre and a
if you
half
wanted.
for this size. But if you were going to put borders on, let's say we added another 6-inch border onto that. That's 12 inches. That's going to give you a 64-inch square.
Do you want to
quilt.
see how much that is? Bear with me. I'll go and get some for you to see. Because as if by magic, I might have some in here.
One of my sewing ladies bought some of your extra wide in the cream of the William Morris, because she's making a William Morris quilt with me on a Wednesday afternoon.
Right, I've got a salvage edge.
She's got the cream of this.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
I love the cream. Let's get those. Hang on, spin it around again so we get the thieves up the right way.
You've got the salvage and I've got the salvage.
And I don't think I've chopped into this one.
Falling over. Isn't it beautiful?
So actually, yeah, I mean, I'm there, Jane's there. That is your 2.70 m, and it's taller than we are. That is how much you get.
What is there, 1.5 meters here?
That's 2 metres.
2 metres, yeah.
So 2 metres by 2.70 m.
That is a really good quilt backing.
And
2
also,
metres of fabric, that width.
What I've done with it as well is back all my cushions in it as well.
Yeah.
And I did that with the cream, and I made bags and goodness knows what out of and actually I've got on the website I've got a bag pattern that is specifically for making using half a metre of your extra wide.
Yeah.
And it just shows you how to do it very easily, very quickly. And that's my pack-away tote, my market pack-away tote.
Brilliant.
So there's lots on there to have a look at. So whether you're going for something classical like that and timeless, whether you want to go just for a plain, whether you want to go for something really zhuzhy like a cape.
A cave, you're going to get a double quilt then, aren't you? You can turn it over.
And imagine how lovely that's going to be to turn over as well.
Double-sided quilt.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Beautiful. So yeah, decide which ones you want. I've used the Cafe backing fabric for making trousers before now, and it was lovely. So yeah, those dressmakers amongst you, do use it, make the most of it. So yeah, that's where we are at.
Beautiful. So there we go. 8-pointed star block.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Tomorrow we have got Gary from Dukey coming in. He's going to show us around the DX7. That's the one that I use on a day-to-day basis. We're also going to talk overlockers. We're going to show you how to do rolled hems. So with your slightly more slippery fabrics, your chiffons and things like that, how to make scarves, how to make an easy scarf. I love a scarf, I don't know about you.
Yeah, I do like a scarf.
And so we're going to put some very tricky fabrics to the test and show you how to very, very simply, if you can start making beautiful scarves, gifting, done.
Yeah.
Like seriously done.
Mother in Sunday sorted.
Absolutely. So we've got that on the show tomorrow. And then I know a lot of you have been asking about my new beast of a machine.
Oh, I know. I've seen the picture of that.
That will have, at another time, that will have a show all to itself because it is, you don't want to rush that one.
No, it's a beautiful machine.
But lots of you have been asking about this. These are on the website now. And what I will say to you is that if you are looking at any of these machines, the way that I do it is that when you buy a machine from me, part of the money that you pay for your machine goes to your local Dukey dealership. Okay, so because then they will then look after your machine going forwards.
Yeah.
So they've already been paid for your servicing and your maintenance, and if you've got any problems and you want some, you take it to your closest place there, and it's all paid for and done, and they will sit down and take the time if you want to get to know your machine.
Yeah,
so that was really
they do lessons and things, don't
important for me that because we're available to everybody, but I didn't want to take from local dealerships who also have to make a living. So that was really important for me that they got. I feel like I'm being morally right.
Yes, I know what you're saying. It's supporting them,
Yeah.
isn't it? Because at the end of the day, if it needs servicing, which it will need servicing
Absolutely.
at some point, or any maintenance,
Then
they're
it's
still going to be there to be able to do it for you.
So when you get your Dukey machine, you'll be told who your local dealer is. So that was the best way I can. Anyway, that and so much more tomorrow. Jane, Thank you
You're
so much.
welcome.
As
It's
ever.
been a pleasure.
So next month,
Yeah.
it's not a Monday or a Tuesday. I think it's a Thursday.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never know what day it is.
Maybe. Hang on, I can check.
Is it a
Bear with, caller. Bear with. The 10th.
of March.
no.
It's Tuesday.
Oh, no, it's a Tuesday. Oh, that's all right then. That's easy.
Textile Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh, it's April. It's a Thursday.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, that's all right. We're
Yeah,
all right for that
we're
then.
okay.
Fabulous. Good.
Lovely.
Good. Thank you very much for your messages. As ever, I will read through them afterwards. If you want to grab yourself a mat, just bear in mind they're just being bound as we speak, so they'll go out on Friday. So you'll get it for next week.
Lovely.
So yeah. And yeah, I keep stroking
Yeah,
as well.
it's lovely. It's very tactile.
Thank you so much for watching. Jane, thank you so much for
welcome.
coming. And I will see you bright and early tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.